Alright, so this is AJ and Raz, and this is what we've been waiting for, Elder Scrolls Online. How you doing, Raz?
I'm good, AJ. How about you?
I am doing awesome because we are watching the playthrough of the starting area of my character Friar Squishy Pants. Friar Squishy Pants is wonderful. He's awesome. He's just amazing. So let's take a look here. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I am in first person, just to kind of play around with it and see how things go along with it.
Well, I enjoy the fact that this game is smooth in both first and third person views. You really play how you want to. No penalties or anything. Maybe a little bit of situational awareness lost in first person, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's and the transition, like you said, it's very, very clean. In fact, was it you that was telling me that originally they were going to do third person only, and the fans fought for the first person?
Yeah, indeed.
That is hilarious. Which an Elder Scrolls game without first person? Come on. So anyways, I picked a bow. I am a Templar, which I picked the bow because the bow uses stamina for its skills, and the Templar uses magicka for casting, so this way I could use stamina when my magicka is low, or save magicka for heal spells and use stamina for damage. Elder Scrolls allows you to do that. You can do just about anything you want to, and that brings us to the combat systems. Raz, you want to break it down comparatively from Elder Scrolls to, other MMOs?
It's fantastic in that you don't have that just pick a target and then spam your button regardless of where he goes, just kind of tracking. You have an active combat system where you can actually, swing and a miss, and it's an actual miss. So if you don't suck, you won't suck. That's fantastic.
If you don't suck, you won't suck. That's a fantastic way of explaining it. Yeah, it is an active combat system. If you are not aiming in the right direction when your swing goes off, you're not going to hit that guy. So it's not really a hit. You can't really stack hit percentages because your hits are based on your abilities. Now, some weapons, of course, are going to be easier than others. Ranged weapons are going to provide a little bit more of a shooter style, especially if you're first person. A lot more traditional Elder Scrolls style play, and that counts on both the spells as well. Basically, when you're targeting someone, they're the health bar you see in the middle at the top of the screen, and that shows that you have targeted. You can sneak, so the sneak system is still there for all the rogues, and I know, Raz, you were really excited about the sneak system on top of the stealth system.
Yeah, I like this stealth system. It's like a 5-second true stealth. You can pretty much wreck whatever. And sneak up on it, get that sneak critical, and then pop your ability that puts you back into stealth. It's unreal.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And also, I was playing around, running around with a sword and a shield. It was very satisfying to be able to creep up behind somebody and score extra damage on them just by crouching and creeping around. It is a really nice little dynamic for things. It also opens up, I'm hoping anyways, some different quests that will require pickpocketing and different things like that. I know that during the first 10 levels, in fact, you have to steal some wine for a thief. So really looking forward to that. Which I guess brings us a little bit into lore, because I was just about to mention the Thieves Guild, because that's one of my favorite things from the Elder Scrolls game. But really, Raz, you're my lore guy, so as far as, like, where does Elder Scrolls Online stand, like, if I'm a Skyrim fan?
Well, I still believe the Thieves Guild is going to be based out of Riften, but it's not actually integrated yet. It should be at launch, but there was nothing that we could do for it in the beta. It's not really been announced. I feel like the quests you were talking about to steal the wine, I think that's going to be a lead-in. I really hope it is, because those quests were fun.
I see. So really, it's kind of completely separated.
Right.
So the stuff we're doing isn't necessarily referenced in a Skyrim game, then?
No, it's all way beforehand.
Okay, okay. I think you had explained it to me the other day. That was pretty good. This is the time of the septums, is it?
It's before the septums have come into power, yeah.
Okay, so it's before the septums, and any Elder Scrolls fans will know that you buy things with septums. So this predates the money, which I think if we look at anything in the world, anything that predates money is really fucking old. So anyways, let's get on with, so we covered a little bit of the lore, and, guys, we will be doing lore videos. Anybody, wants to pop a comment, for expansion on anything, as the game goes along, we'll be doing lore for the, faction that we play, and, just little touches on, maybe dungeons that kind of do the cross story, because all factions deal with the same main storyline. It's the additional quests and the environmental areas that you deal with that'll be different. I figure at least for the first starting area, maybe the second starting area, or the second zone that you get into. But looking at things here, let's see here. We have pre-sale numbers haven't been released yet, so we don't know how many people have actually bought. I know there's 2 in this room. I know a number of others that have. I've seen tons of people posting pictures on Twitter and online of all their hard copies and all their little goodies from the collector's packs and all that.
Yeah, and one thing that we do know is that that Imperial Edition sold a lot better in the physical version than they thought it was going to.
Yeah, because they had to reorder, right?
Yeah,
they had to re-up their stash. That's some good shit when the guy has to re-up on his first opening. So,
yeah.
Free-to-play plans. I will say this. I did some research on this because I've heard people yelling, "Oh, they said it was going to be free-to-play after a year," and I've heard people saying that they never did. And from a press release, it appears that free-to-play is not on the horizon, at least immediately. This is a little bit older information, and I can understand why that is. Essentially, the free-to-play does not make as much money in the long run as a pay model. So it's in a better interest for a company, especially a company with the content like Elder Scrolls backing it. I mean, there's so much lore, so many things you can dive into. If you run out of content for these games, you did something wrong.
Yeah, you've got so much to pull off of, and with the padding of the pockets that the subscription fee will do, they should keep up with the content. And if they don't, that's just a short-sightedness on their part, really.
Yeah, and I think that the amount of content they launched with, I think that's a little bit of a message to us. How many dungeons are they going to launch with?
Something like upwards of 50, if I'm not mistaken.
That is ridiculous. How many dungeons does WoW have right now? Like, seriously. I mean, if we're gonna get into the nuts and bolts, everybody's gonna start asking, is this gonna kill WoW?
Well,
personally,
I would say no.
I think that WoW's been dead for a little while, but then again, I hate pandas. So, like, the little kidsy stuff of WoW, the undetailing of spec trees that they've done, it's just they've turned it into an unplayable experience for me, and I used to love that game.
But the only thing that's going to kill WoW is WoW. That game...
This is true.
Driven itself into the ground.
This is very true. Pretty soon, it will be a 2-button side-scroller. So, anyways, so off of that, is this a WoW killer? I like your answer. The only thing that's going to kill WoW is WoW, and I hear they're sharpening their knife.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Voice acting. Now, we were going to try and get to this before I hit this part of the video, but I kind of blasted through the starting area. I will say, side note, you'll notice I'm looting everything. Loot everything you possibly can in the starting area. If you do, you leave the starting area with probably over 40 lockpicks and over 400 gold. Your first 10-slot bag expansion is 400 gold. Every character I've ever made in the betas has purchased its first slot expansion or been able to at least 2 levels before I even got to the guy that could sell it to me.
And on top of that, with these chests in here, sometimes you'll find racial styling books. Yeah. So you leave the starting area with 1 or 2 additional armor crafting styles. That's fantastic.
And especially considering now, I didn't look because whenever I found them, I was so excited to go make myself a set in that style that I just learned it myself. But I believe they are tradable.
They are, yeah.
And you gotta figure there's a chance in every one of these little urns for one of those things to drop, and that right there is the potential for like a quarter of the cost of your mount when you leave the starting area if you sell it to somebody. The potential for those racial motifs is amazing.
Climb up the back of the ladder there.
Yeah, well, you know, I do things from behind. I am a rogue at heart.
But tis.
Yeah. My kit's broken this week. So anyways, voice acting quality. I was speaking with a very good friend of mine, and she had mentioned that the voice acting in this game was tremendous, and I was playing the beta when she was telling me about it, and I went ahead and asked my, what I call my encyclopedia Raz across the table there, and as it turns out, we have some pretty damn famous voice actors in here, don't we?
Yeah, we do. The guy back there in the very starting area with a pot on his head, that's John Cleese.
Yes, John Cleese, that would be Sir Lancelot to any of you Grailers. But John Cleese, we have, I, for the life of me, cannot remember his name, because to me he will always be Professor Dumbledore, is the Prophet. And that is fantastic. Tremendous voice actor, tremendous actor.
I believe that's Michael Gambon.
Michael Gambon, there you go. See, me and names doesn't work. If your name isn't like Friar Squishy Buns, I'll never remember it. Carmen, how long was it after I knew your name that I actually called you Carmen? 2 years?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, so me and names don't... I don't math and I don't name. So voice actors, of course, there's kind of the mainstay of voice acting. So you'll hear a lot of familiar voices if you're a fan of things like dubbed anime. Just about anything that has been brought over internationally and requires good acting as far as the dubs. You'll hear a lot of those famous players and more, and everything is voice acted. Quest givers. Conversations. If you're standing in town crafting long enough, you will hear enough conversation going around town. Very rarely hearing the same thing, and most of the NPCs have paths that they follow, so you're constantly hearing what's going on in the world while you're just sitting there doing things like enchanting and things like that, learning about the NPCs, and they're all just walking around talking. And I have yet, outside of during the original betas, there was some clipping on the audio files when you were listening to them, but outside of that, I have yet to hear what sounds like rushed or, unplanned for voice acting and scripting.
And again, with that, it all comes back to you need a subscription fee to sustain content like that.
You really do.
Because, look at Star Wars The Old Republic. It was fantastic. All that money they sunk into it, and they just didn't put content out fast enough. But that was also richly voice acted. I'm just hoping that ZeniMax doesn't drop the ball with this one. They've had somebody else try it before them and watched how they failed. Don't do that.
Yeah, I like how you brought up Star Wars because it is a good example. The storylining, and I think even the class storylines that kind of sucked were still a ball to play because they were fully voice acted. You didn't know who you were going to run into. You didn't know who your boss was going to be. Which, side note, we will be playing, which faction are we going to be playing?
The Old Married Dominion, I believe.
Old Married Dominion on PC, because we want our queen to be...
Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, yes. I will definitely follow her into the bowels of hell. But then again, I would follow anything with 2 legs and a heartbeat just about anywhere. So, alright, so voice acting, I'm really looking forward to it. We haven't played any of the Elder Dominion on our beta trials because we want it to be fresh. So in the first 5 days, pre-launch, for the pre-orders, we'll be doing a video a day, crafting, quests, all sorts of stuff. If you want to leave a comment with suggestions of stuff we could do, or you want to see before you log in if you didn't pre-order, leave us a comment. And let's see here. So let's see, videos we're going to be doing, Raz. I mentioned the lore. We're going to be covering the crafting. I'll be covering crafting very heavily because I am really, really excited about crafting.
I'm excited that you're excited about crafting, AJ.
Yes, because I make you everything you wear, so
yes.
Shut up. But I am excited about crafting because for the first time, and I'm going to combo into this a little bit of the guild stuff, but for the first time in an MMO, I feel like I'm going to be operating in a real economy. Crafting is, and again, I'm going to release a video which I'll go into the differences between research traits, enchantments, set bonuses, and how you can get them. But essentially, there's 3 effects you can put on any piece of armor or weapon. It can have an enchant, a trait, and a set bonus. Set bonuses require 3 pieces, so potentially you can have 3 set bonuses on at any time. But the thing is to get an item with a set bonus, I believe it's only drop, but I've only done one. I've only done the grotto, so I haven't really seen set bonuses drop. But there are crafting stations in the open world that you have to find, and then if you know a trait, 2 traits, I believe it's 2 traits, right?
2 traits, yes.
2 traits, say I want to make a chest piece, a heavy armor chest piece with a trait on it. So I need to know 2 heavy armor chest piece traits in order to be able to make the chest piece at that station. So hopefully one of those is the trait I want. And FYI, the video, we just entered into the area where you got to fight this little boss at the end in the starting area. Fight him and don't go up and finish it. Loot the entire room. This is where I make about 200 gold and get about every cooking pattern that they have for the beginning of the game. So I kill this guy, I ignore the profit, and I run around and loot. It's a fantastic moneymaker.
This is a good point to bring up the ground effects. You should watch out for those in pretty much every fight. If you're standing still, you're dumb and dead.
Yes, dumb and dead. 2 Ds. You're dumb and DED. So yeah, anyways, crafting, basically you have to do some research, and research takes 6 to 12 hours per, and in the beginning you can only research 1 thing at a time per crafting, so 1 blacksmith, 1 clothing, 1 woodworking research going at a time. You can expand those as you spend points into the skills, but the other side of it is to get better at your crafting. You got to really focus on one, because to expand on your capabilities, you have to spend skill points. So having one character do all your crafting, unless you're going to level him specifically for crafting skills and only spend points on fighting skills every once in a while, you're going to want to specialize your characters. So as a crafter, if I know 2 traits for every item in the blacksmithing tree, when somebody posts that they want to pay someone to craft a set piece for them, I'm their guy for heavy armor. So now I am their guy for heavy armor whenever they need set pieces. And if somebody needs 3 set pieces from one set, they're going to need them from other sets. So they're going to want to get you to teleport to them to help them make their pieces. So it really makes me excited to specialize, both for ourselves, so that I can be our crafter for, cloth and leather, or for the heavy armor. But it really makes me excited because as a crafter, I am now tremendously important if I have built myself right. So if I've built myself for heavy armor damage traits, then I am your damage guy. So anytime somebody is looking for damage traits on heavy armor, they can just come straight to me because they know I have that trait for every single piece, which means I can charge premiums or even not do my tip.
We all know what teleports sound like, right? Cha-ching!
Yes. So anyways, the crafting, I'm really excited about it. A little bit with the guilds. You can be in multiple guilds. So guilds are account-wide. If you have 5 characters and you made a guild, all 5 of your characters, when you log on, are in that guild because you are in that guild. Your account is in that guild. So my account is at Monkey. So Monkey, for betas, we've been running the Wu-Tang clams, and because we ain't nothing to shuck with. But I had to get it in there. But anyways, it's really cool because if we get 50 members, we can have a guild store. It's like an auction house in guild. So it's completely possible to make market-specific guilds where the guild is massive and it's there to be an auction house.
Keeping in mind you can be in 5 guilds at one time.
5 guilds at a time, which means when you go to bank, you go to look at the bank, FYI, make sure you're looking at the right bank when you're depositing stuff, because you do not want to deposit all of your enchanting mats into a guild that you don't have access to their bank. So, anyways, really excited about the guild stuff. Anybody who wants to hit us up, PC is what we're playing on, Eldari Dominion. I am at Monkey, Munkee. Raz, you are at
Razombie.
Razombie, Razombie. And let's see here. So beta, cover a little bit on the beta. You know, it wasn't as glitchy as I was expecting. Everybody was complaining on the last one that some of the interface glitches were still there, but you know what? Outside of the PvP lag, but on a stress test, how do you not have that? I think the betas were wonderful. I can't wait. I think they're going to do another one. I've heard hints of another one. So I can't wait to see if they're going to use a build where they fixed all those little glitches and show us a little more of the final product. PvP was fantastic. Cyrodiil is a zone that's constantly being fought over. It affects the world story. All the quest givers in the PvP zone give you quests to take over stuff that is vital to your goal. So depending on who holds what, the quests given out at the hubs all change. You can pull out siege weapons, you can repair your siege weapons, you can take over a castle and then rebuild the walls and put siege weapons up on the walls to rebuild your own defenses to hold it. It's fantastic. There's your own skill trees, just absolutely amazing little abilities, and I can't wait. I don't PvP very much in most games, but I cannot wait to PvP in Elder Scrolls.
If you're not a PvP player, this should sell you. Killing orcs with a trebuchet.
Yes. Orcs with a trebuchet. Alright, console versus PC. It will be out for all consoles. All consoles, the two biggies. PlayStation 4 and the Xbox done. And it will also be out for PC. All of them will be on separate networks, so PlayStation won't be able to play with Xbox as usual, but Xbox will not be able to play with PC, which, like with Grand Theft Auto 4, you could through the Xbox Live, but that also brings us to the Xbox Live. Because this is a pay-to-play game, Xbox and PlayStation are not requiring Gold, or what is the PlayStation Network one called?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're not requiring you to use that to play this game. So you buy this game. If you're not Xbox Gold member, it doesn't matter. You're paying for this game. You're not paying for Xbox Gold. So that's a nice little thing to help save some money. Keeps Elder Scrolls wanting to do more content because it's not just the PC players who are paying the full monthly fee. So I can't wait. I think that at least from the get-go they're starting to do it right, and you know what, the story that's backing it and the guys who are making it, it's just going to be fantastic.
This is how you do an MMO properly. Right?
Yes,
it feels like I've got people in my Skyrim.
Yeah, I think it's come down to the old peanut butter chocolate. You've gotten Skyrim in my MMO, and nope, you got MMO in my Skyrim. That's fantastic, and hopefully somehow one of the people involved with the game will somehow hear of this so that I can tell you right now, thank you. And if you ever see one of my characters in-game saying random stuff, read the character name, it'll all make sense. Screams at shoes, hates Crocs. So let's end it there. Raz, I'm excited. Are you excited?
Extremely.
All right, we're excited, which means, guys, you should be excited. So this is AJ and Raz, and we will see you in Cyrodiil.
It is time.
First, there is no way